Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Third and Wrong podcast, where our takes are almost certainly wrong. We are back. It has been far too long. We are excited to talk some news and some sports with you guys, catch up on what's been happening in the sports world. We've missed a lot. Wouldn't you say, boys?
Yeah, man, it's good to be back. We may have been gone, but the sports world did not stop. That's for sure. We've been going about a month. A lot has happened. A lot of vacations going on. I actually got married in the last month, so round of applause for that.
Clap it
So
up.
a lot
Clap
of
it up.
changes. So we have been busy for good reason, but it's been about a month. And even though we've been going for a month, like I said, I swear we could not have missed a worst month. A thousand things have happened since we last made a video, but we get to
Huge
talk about them
news.
all in this video, so should be a lot of fun. But it's good
Yeah,
to
it
be
seems
back.
like a lot of the biggest headlines came out the 2 or 3
swear.
weeks we weren't at
swear.
home and went like at least two of us weren't here. But we're excited to be back. Can't wait to talk about it. Tell y'all guys our opinions on it.
Not that they
Absolutely
matter,
crazy.
but
Absolutely
should
crazy.
be fun. Should be fun.
Just because everybody
nonetheless.
wants to hear our opinions, right?
Yeah,
I can't
everybody.
wait. They're
I know
foaming at
everybody's
the
been
mouth.
I know you
begging
guys
to
have
hear
been
what we've got
waiting
to
for
say
this to
about it.
drop.
All
to know
17
what
of
we
our
think.
subscribers have just been itching to see what we have to say.
I know when you guys saw the Melo news drop, you guys were like, "What does JJ think about this?"
JJ
True.
is a known Hornets fanatic
Dedicated
as of
Hornets
about
fan.
10 months ago when he
Hey,
decided he wanted to get
and
into the
I've been
NBA and
on
pick
the
a team.
train, and I'm
And
not off.
to his credit, he watched a bunch of games,
Tons.
but still, hey, that still hurts. Leading, if we're going to talk about the Melo stuff, the thing with Melo is it's weird. Obviously, like Melo, I mean, he's a good player. Wouldn't you say like a top, like maybe like a top 20, 25 guy? Like, is that fair? Is that like a
Ooh,
good
I
range
don't
you
even
would
know.
say?
I don't even know that I'd put it that high. I feel like you could
Yeah,
put
I was about to say
guys
maybe
high
Maybe
top
like a
that
30,
high.
top. I feel like
35.
top 25. I feel like top 25 is fair.
He's on the
Like,
brink for
like
sure.
Brock.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
he's
he's
like
a
a top
great
25
player.
guy. He's really exciting. I promise you, like just reading some of the stuff today from Hornets fans, and I kind of knew this anyways, just from like I do know a couple of Hornets fans, like including JJ, but I know a couple of guys have been Hornets fans for a while. No fan base loves a player more than the Hornets love Melo. Like I
love
promise
Melo.
you, like
I
Hornets fans
love
will
him.
vouch. If there's a Hornets fan watching this, they love the guy. Like Hornets fans are really upset today. That I'll lead with that.
I'm not excited. I like
There's
literally
no reason
was
to be. It's
I
horrible.
literally was about to buy a Lamelo jersey like before next NBA season.
You
But
just want a ball all over your jersey, didn't
yeah, ball one. That's a sick jersey.
That
That's
big ball right on the back of your jersey.
that's a sick jersey, bro. Like absolutely just cool by itself. It's like a Jordan Love jersey. Like, I know. Whoa! I said that in the wrong setting. You guys are gonna hate that one.
you? Yeah, that's
But
terrible.
like,
That's one
it
of the
just
worst
says
ones I can
love
think
on the
of.
back. Like that's just sick. He's so fun to watch. Everybody's like, he's a dirty player.
He's a really fun player to watch.
But I don't think so. I think he's
If you don't know, like
a good guy.
us, that's our closest NBA team. So we've gotten the chance. We went to a couple games in Charlotte, so we've got to watch him play live. One, he's super exciting to watch in person. Like he's electrifying. Even when we went and watched some of those Hornets teams that were horrible, he makes it worth the price of admission. And another thing, just kind of going back onto the fan drawback. I don't know what it is about the younger generation, the little kids that they love the Lamelo Ball, man. Like I don't know what it is. He really appeals. I think a lot of it has to do with just kind of that whole ball is life generation, and just that was kind of when we were in middle school though. Like kids would have been really young at that time. But he's just kind of always been famous. You know, it's LaMelo Ball. Like everyone's known who LaMelo Ball is since he was a freshman in high school. It's a big personality. He's a ton of fun to watch. That's gonna be a tough one to get over. Not only just because of how exciting he is as a player, but also he's kind of the engine that kind of drives that offense. He's a lot better playmaker and a guy that really makes people better around him than people give him credit for. I really think.
Do you guys think he's going to be good in Minnesota?
Absolutely.
I think it's going to be really. I think they're going to be really good. I think it's
going to be
helpful.
really good as well. I just thought it was I don't know. I just thought it was such a weird trade to begin with. I mean, you're bringing in LaMelo Ball, who, yes, like you said, he's flashy, he's athletic, he's a great playmaker, but he just, I don't know, he kind of doesn't fit the mold, but he does fit the mold if it makes sense. Like he can be a great playmaker for those players around him, Anthony Edwards and like Rudy Gobert throwing lobs to him is gonna be pretty fun. But I don't know, to me, he just don't seem like he fits the mold, and I don't know
I
why.
would say
But
the biggest problem, I think one of the main reasons that Minnesota wanted to trade for LaMelo, if you think about the problem, so Minnesota has a transcendent guy in Anthony. I think Anthony Edwards is a top 10 player in the sport. Like, he's that good. And he's also a
Oh,
playoff
for
riser,
sure.
just a killer in the playoffs. Absolute stud. Going to be one of the better players in the game for the next 10 years or so. And look at the problems that they've had. He's been there with Gobert, and they had Gobert and Cat at the same time, which obviously created a ton of spacing issues, with two true centers in the paint, even though Cat can stretch it out. Created a lot of spacing issues. He kind of complained about it. They move on from Cat, go and get Randall. And even when you bring in Randall, it's not the same as Towns, but they still had some spacing issues. And it didn't really have a guy that was able to be that playmaker. Ant had to have the ball in his hands at all times. Now, when you bring in LaMelo and you get rid of Julius Randle, you're spacing. And I think that's a lot of what they kind of want to do. Like, I know DiVincenzo's hurt, but they want to shoot a lot of threes. They want to run. Julius Randle's just not that type of guy. Like, that's the complete opposite of what he does. When Julius Randle gets the ball, I'm not going to sit on here and bag on Julius Randle like a lot of people have done, because this is a former All-NBA guy. Like, he's had a really nice career, but he's the exact opposite of a player that LaMelo is. He's not a great playmaker. He's a back to the basket type of guy. And even he can make some plays with the handle, but everything is super slow with him. Like, he gets the ball and he's kind of methodical with it, and he can create his own shot, but it's, you know what I mean? Like, when he gets the ball, it just kind of gets stuck a little bit, and he's a completely different type of player. It should help a lot with spacing. He should be able to also have the ball in his hands and create a lot of looks for Ant and let him play off ball. I think it's going to be a fantastic thing for them, to be honest with you. I really do.
it's definitely going to be exciting to watch. It's going to be very fun to watch. I mean, like you said, Anthony Edwards, sorry, one of the most fun players in the game.
Unreal.
Right.
And just adding LaMelo to him is going to be absolutely incredible.
It's gonna be a ton of fun. Is DiVincenzo a 3?
Oh,
Yeah,
he
plays
can
like a
really
3-4. Yeah,
Oh,
Okay.
you're talking about like position, like small forward. Yeah, he
Yeah.
could play.
he's kind of like Josh Hart.
Could,
Like he's smaller, but he can play the
not as big.
4 if he
Yeah,
needs
he
to.
could.
Okay.
They could
That
all
makes
three
sense.
be out there at the same time for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
That makes sense. I was just like, is LaMelo even going to start? But no, I think it's a really good move. I've heard a lot of hate on it, to be honest. Like, I've heard hate from both sides in terms of, like, why does this make sense for the Timberwolves? I've heard like some hate on it. Who's the guy on Brew? Brew on First Things First was talking about it, and he was hating it. Like, he was like, I just don't get it. I don't know how this helps your problems. Blah 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 blah. He kind of hates on LaMelo in general. I think Melo's starting to get that reputation, kind of like James Harden. Like not like
I'm so glad
highly
you brought that up.
prolific offensive player, but can't play winning basketball and can't win when it matters. Like, I think he's getting that kind of reputation too.
See,
And there's a lot of hate. So I don't know that everybody loves the move. I know Hornets fans like aren't thrilled about it but apparently it freed up a lot of cap space. One of my buddies is a big Hornets fan, and he was pretty excited. He was like glad we moved on from LaMelo because he's injury prone. People forget that. Like, this was his first healthy year. And so moving on from him kind of makes sense for the Hornets. It's also weird to me that, like, I feel like 2 months ago, there were like a few guys that were in trade conversations, like Trae Young, Ja Morant, and LaMelo Ball kept coming in like trade deadline conversations. And then none of them got traded except Trae Young. And it felt like nobody wanted to trade for LaMelo Ball at that point. And now, like, apparently within the past 2 days, everybody's like loving the idea of trading for LaMelo Ball, because the Hornets did kind of get a haul. Like, they got a good amount of stuff.
Back.
Yeah. So
more than the Mavericks got for Luka.
I think you brought up
more.
Yeah, you're not even kidding, dude. We're not talking about that tonight. I don't want to relive that. But I think you brought up like the two main points. I like that you brought up like the Harden type comparison with him. And you also said something else I really liked. I can't remember what it was. The injury prone thing. Yeah, that's what it was. But with the Harden stuff, I think he's had some of those problems in his career. But the thing I would argue with Harden is inherently not a good defender. I would say that LaMelo at times has been lazy. But I think what you saw last year, for the first time in his career, I know they had made some other play-ins. Last year, I think, was the best team he had been on. the Hornets, when they got on their winning streak last year and they got on a roll towards the end of the season, Charles Lee had that defense rolling. They were one of the best defenses in the NBA statistically, especially in the second half of the season. And he was really good on defense. Like, we forget this guy is like, he's like 6'6".
Yeah.
He's like 6'6".
His wingspan's massive
He's
too.
probably
He's 6'7".
6'7". I'm pretty
No,
sure
he is
6'7".
6'7". I'm 100% sure.
So he's 6'7". He's a 6'7" point guard that's a really good athlete. I'm telling you, he can really – you got to see him kind of buy in on defense last year, I think, for the first time in his career. And I think that kind of changed the way other teams kind of thought of him as like, this dude can really be an asset, because I think beforehand – so I think he can really defend if he's on a winning team, which Minnesota is going to be. And also something we know about Minnesota and the culture that kind of Finch has got there is they're going to defend. That's kind of
Right.
the staple of their team. They're one of the better defenses in the NBA every year. So I think he's actually going to defend. Then with the injury thing, I think that's the reason they moved on.
Right.
I really do. I think that's the sole reason. Is like you said, he played a lot last year, and I think similar to kind of Luka, they looked at that as an anomaly with him playing 72 last year compared to the 3 years before when he played like under 50. Right. So I really think that's what it was. I think it was the injury thing. But I think the big thing I look at in these situations is I like to look how the fans from teams react, because I think that's the most telling, because that's the people that know their team more than anyone else are fans. Hornets fans are livid, and Timberwolves fans are really excited. And I think that's the most telling thing. I'm going to be honest. But I do think the haul's okay. I don't think those pick swaps are honestly as good as they look on paper.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Like, they kind of got a haul. The reason I say they got a haul is because they got a solid center. Like, Naz Reid is better.
Naz Reid is great.
Naz Reid will be the best center on the Hornets. Like, he will be.
They re-signed Kobe White today.
That's
Kobe
great.
White,
like, Kobe White needed
to per game guy.
He needed to be a starter, to be honest. Like, he needed to be a starter. And so I'm glad they re-signed Kobe White. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think the Hornets are still going to be good with Khan and Brand. Like, if everybody can stay healthy, I think they're still going to be like a 40-40 team-ish. Like, they're going to be around there.
I think they'll be better than that if they can stay healthy. If Miller can stay healthy, I think they'll be a winning record.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you're taking away the engine of the offense. And so, that's about what they were last year is like, I can't remember what they finished at.
I think they really want and expect, like, this tells me that they really think and expect to have a guy in Brandon Miller. Like, I'm talking about like a potential all-NBA type talent. And I think he definitely could be, but he's been more injury prone than Lamelo has.
Yeah, time's ticking.
Like, he's still but still, like, when you put together consecutive seasons like that, we just see it too often in the NBA, and it sucks. It's one of the worst things about sports in general. But
here's my final thoughts on it. Here's my final thoughts on it. So I think my early predictions is this is going to be a win-win situation. Like you said, you bring in Naz Reid at the Hornets and a lot of picks. If you decide to bring him off the bench, he's going to be a great bench piece. He always has been a great bench piece. He won 6 Man of the Year. But then you re-sign Kobe White. He can be your playmaker if you need him to, and you let Brandon Miller and Khan just be the stud shooters. So I think that's going to mesh really well for them. Like you said, they were working on the defense last year. And then the Timberwolves, they can defend. The Timberwolves, we got to think they just got rid of Julius Randle, I think 2 days ago maybe. And so they dropped that contract.
Salary dump.
A guy that's declining. So we knew they were going to do something, which I'm very proud of. They went out and got a guy. I mean, you just move on from the old declining guy, bring in somebody new, get a fresh face in there, see if things work out. That's the only thing I can say about the Timberwolves is they've never just sat on their hands like a lot of teams do. They make trades. Now. Yeah, they know they got a stud in Anthony Edwards, and so they're trying to just bring in new faces, new schemes, just see what can happen, and hope to one day win a chip. And I think definitely they can this year.
And for the record, in the West,
I don't think the Hornets are done. Like, I think they're going to do something else. They freed up a lot of cap space.
This was definitely. Well, I think it just kind of sucks for the fans because this was definitely in some ways like a build for the future move when I think the fans were really wanting to win now because of last year. But I think in a lot of ways too, you just have to be realistic about it. Is they're not ready to win a championship yet.
Not championship ready, definitely not.
But that's what matters at the end of the day. So I think in their minds they're making a move that maybe makes them worse next year. But I think it's something that they think 3 years from now makes them a better basketball team, but time will tell. So we'll see. Y'all want to talk about since we're on some NBA topic, you want to talk about some draft stuff really quick? Maybe, what you saw from our team's draft night, maybe a pick you really liked, something that surprised you. I don't know how much you guys kept up with the draft.
I didn't keep up with it a whole ton. My buddy really liked the power forward / center that the Hornets drafted. I couldn't even tell you exactly what his name was. So
they got is it Stein? Is it the guy from Washington?
yes,
Steinbach? Yeah.
yes,
He's
greatest
really good
rebounder in the country apparently.
Great offensive rebounder. And the thing about him is, they already have these guys, like you have Diabate, and now you bring in him, and you bring in Steinbach. Those are two, like Diabate is one of the best offensive rebounders in the NBA. So you have that. And they drafted Kalkbrenner last year, who can really defend at the rim. And now you bring in Naj Reid. So in the interior, they should be really good.
If we could combine them all into one player, it'd be a lot better.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, I don't know. I thought the draft, I just asked because this is the most invested I think I've ever been in an NBA draft.
Apparently, it's like a really good class, yeah?
No, it's the best. So y'all know me. I love college basketball. So that's another reason I love the draft so much, because every dude that gets picked, I know them because I watch so much college basketball. So that also just kind of leads for more being investing. Like when you've seen these dudes, you also like in your mind, you think you like know who's good and who's not. You've watched them play in college, which I know that's not the same as, being a pro scout. But yeah, it's definitely the best draft on paper of all time that we've seen easily. I mean, time will tell. As a Mavs fan, I can ask you, what did you think? I don't even know if you probably don't even know much about Merez Johnson, but Slade, I don't know how you feel about that.
No,
with him going to number 9.
I was kind of hoping we'd get Braden Burris, because
that's who I wanted. I really wanted.
I mean, going into the draft, I was hoping Acuff would have failed, but
oh man,
I mean,
yeah,
obviously he got drafted a few picks before, so I was holding out for Braden Burris, and then we decided not to. I mean, I don't have much to say. Unlike Jacob, I don't watch college basketball really at all. I might watch 10 games in March Madness, maybe.
Catch me on the Thursday of March Madness. I'm watching.
I'm not that heavily invested in March Madness
so
as
good.
Jacob
I
is.
love it. But
there's not much I can say. I know the top guys are like incredible. They're studs. They're gonna make great impacts going forward. I would like to see who will like come out as the best 1 or 2 players in this draft. Like last year you had Kneppel and Flagg.
There's
who's
gonna be
those players for this year? Because it could be like any of those top 6 guys.
Just skimming it, like obviously the first 3 picks, like DeBonta, Peterson, and Boozer are gonna go. Even Wilson, like once you get to 5, that's where you kind of started.
Hey, Wilson going to the Bulls is so fun.
He's unbelievable.
By the way,
he's so good. He could have been the first overall pick in past drafts, and he goes at 4. And Wagler goes 5, which I wouldn't say is a surprise. A really big guard that can defend and play make. He's just going to get better. Michael Brown at 6 maybe was for some reason Brooklyn, like it's kind of was a known thing. Their GM really likes Michael Brown over Acuff. Like he's a little bit bigger of a prospect, but he's got some back issues. I personally I would have went Acuff or Flemings, I think, over Michael Brown. I really like Kingston Flemings better too. But it was honestly the surprise of the draft was Merez Johnson. If you don't know me and Slade, I'm a really big Mavs fan. But I had a good feeling we were going to get a Michigan guy once we got May, which I'm a fan of that hiring too, by the way. Like obviously there's some, a little bit of skepticism when you look at kind of the results of college guys coming to the pros, but I do think he's a really good coach. I was excited about the hiring. I think Johnson's good. I think it may have been a little bit of reach. I think time will tell. He's a freak athlete, dude. He's 6'10", 250 pounds, but he's a 4. I really think he's going to be more of a 4 in the NBA and a 5. Like I really do think he's going to develop into a guy that has enough touch to have, I think, a jump shot. And I even think that he's going to develop into a guy that's going to be able to handle the ball a little bit. Maybe not like bring it down the floor type of guy, but maybe can turn into like, I don't know. I really do think he's going to be able to handle the ball and just add things to his game as we go along. And he already is going to be able to defend at an elite level. So
it's just
I'm optimistic.
It's become very evident to me that our time with PJ Washington is like coming to an end.
He very well could be moved.
He's getting pushed out the door, at least pushed to the bench, because he didn't have that great of a season last year. He had games where he played really good, but he hasn't been himself since like 2 or 3 years ago, whenever we made that the finals push. So I could definitely see them, kind of looking to shop him around. And I wouldn't be mad about it. I mean, given our situation,
Yeah.
Kyrie, who knows exactly when he'll come back. The team just isn't in the position it was 2 years
If we
ago.
could get a pick
So,
back for next year for him, it'd honestly be worth it. I mean, we don't have
yeah,
a pick next year, so
I wouldn't mind
Yeah, you know who
moving
has it?
him.
yeah, it's probably from PJ, right?
The
When we got
Hornets.
him initially.
Yeah,
That's when we.
probably.
But it was. I'm telling you, it was exciting. I not to harp on it too long because I know we'll move on to something different. But
I really wanted the
But-
Hornets to draft that. I really wanted the 7-3 center from
Damara.
Michigan to drop.
of course, he goes to Oklahoma City. That was a straight. That was a Wemby pick. That was a complete. Like Wemby got
Yeah.
absolutely dominated, particularly Hartenstein and Chet, and that
Yeah.
was that's the Wemby stopper. I think that was the whole plan.
That's exactly
with that
right.
pick.
Like,
But it
hey,
just
how do we
kind of
beat
scares
this
me
team
with the
next year?
Mavs pick. When you look down the list, I think there's a legitimate shot. Like when you look at Burries, you look at Yaxel, you look at Damar, and you look at Nate Ament. That's the 4 picks directly after Merez Johnson. I don't think it's that shocking if 5 years from now we're like, dang, all 4 of those guys are better than Merez Johnson.
Right.
So I think that scares me a little bit.
Sure.
But I don't think it's as bad. Like I saw people compare the pick to Patrick Williams. It is nothing like that pick. It is not. One, it's at 9, whereas that was at 4. 2, Merez Johnson. I don't mean this disrespectfully. Merez Johnson would be a better player next year than Patrick Williams was in the entirety of his NBA. That's like one of the worst picks in NBA history. Like it's not near that bad, people. I promise. So time will tell. What do we got next? What should we move on to here, Jay?
Final piece of NBA news that or 2 more pieces. Let's talk Giannis getting traded. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. It's huge.
I personally think the Heat still suck. I don't think they're going to be good even after that trade because they literally gave up their entire franchise to acquire Giannis Antetokounmpo. So it's literally Giannis and Mr. 83 next to each other, and that's pretty much the whole team. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel great about it.
Here's my opinion on it.
Yeah,
I'm kind
go
of with
ahead.
you, JJ, a little bit. So at the end of the day, like Giannis is leagues better than Tyler Hero, and Tyler Hero's not even a bad player. It's just that's
Right.
how good Giannis is.
Yeah, no difference.
It's just the fact of it's a team that is always on the cusp of being in the play-in or always in the play-in. I just don't think Giannis elevates them that much to put them at like a top 2 or 3 in the East. I just don't think so. I think the spacing of the floor is going to be detrimental to this team. I don't think they're going to be able to like shoot at all. I'm pretty sure who's their starting point guard?
Mitchell.
I just looked at it the other day.
D. Mitchell.
Yeah, Davion Mitchell.
Yeah, Davion Mitchell. He's a
Like,
good player, but he's not.
He's good,
know.
but he's a guy that was a bench player at the
I could
Kings
look up.
a few years ago.
And ideally, he is coming off the bench.
Yes. You give up your young center, Khalil Ware. You give up Tyler Hero, who is an offensive stud for you.
Can I read their projected
Obviously,
starting
you give up
lineup?
so many picks. Yeah, it's pretty dead.
Like,
It's just
kinda-
pretty bad. But yeah,
So this is to continue on what you're saying to kind of let you continue going. I wasn't meaning to like interrupt you, but the
That's fine, you
projected
can
starting
interrupt me, it's
5 is Davion Mitchell. Excuse me, not Donovan Mitchell.
You know what's also horrible? You know what's crazy is he wears 45 and they have the same color jerseys.
Oh yeah, I mean
It's the worst. Like what is wrong? He's doing it on purpose.
you got Davion Mitchell starting point guard again, good player. He's got Norman Powell listed at the 2. That's assuming they re-sign him, and that would be like basically everything they have left. But I think the general consensus is they're going to bring him back. Andrew Wiggins at the small forward, Giannis, and then Bam. So it's a good starting 5, but the problem is they have no bench. The bench is kind of depleted, and it's still not a championship starting. I don't.
The
think
Bucks have their
it's gonna
bench.
Yeah, the Bucks. I mean, it's gone. They're gonna have to fill out their bench. Will be.
you forgot Bobby Portis, man.
Yeah.
They do have Bobby.
Don't
P.
worry.
The bench is going to
Big
be.
Bobby.
They're gonna have to sign about 3 like vet minimum guys. Like they're gonna have to bring in like Chris Middleton
Chris
and
Paul.
like a couple of guys. They're gonna have like 3 vet minimum players like in their rotation in the regular season next year. But the thing about it is, you have a regular season rotation. I guess the plan is stay healthy, get to the playoffs, and run like a 7-man rotation.
7-man. Have your
you know,
starters play 45 minutes a
Or
game.
knowing the Heat will have some undrafted dude you've never heard of pop up and
Yeah.
average like 13 points a game. So I think all this was Pat Riley. When he just gets something in his mind, he's not going to be denied. He was just
He was
like, I
foaming
want
at
a
the mouth.
superstar. He was willing to do anything it took to get Giannis, and he proved that. Like, it was a ridiculous trade.
Yeah. No
So,
future.
I'm just glad Boston didn't get him. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't stand Boston.
Yeah, that's true. I'm with you. But I would have liked to see Jaylen Brown play for the Bucks. But that's the only good thing that would have been come out of that.
He's threatening to go play in China. I don't know if you've seen that. So
that's ridiculous.
But here's the other side of it for me.
Sharks. I don't know.
Here's the other side of it for me. The Bucks, I don't think it makes them any better either. I mean, it does probably in the future because they got so many picks back for it.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But it's literally
win right now.
It's going to be the Milwaukee Heat. It's going to be the Milwaukee Heat going on the court every night, basically. Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, Kel'el Ware. I mean,
I think Kel'el Ware has some upside. Like, he's a stretch
I do.
5.
No, I'm not saying he's bad.
Tyler Hero obviously is a stud.
It's just a Heat team.
And
you're just missing
Bam. But they were awful with Giannis the past 2 years, so it makes sense. And he's aging; he's in his 30s now. It made sense to move on from.
Just trying to rebuild.
That's right. It was a good deal for them. He also won him a title, so I feel like that makes it easier for them to be like, we got a title out of him brought to Milwaukee. So I don't think it was a terribly messy breakup as far as sports trades go.
I don't fault either team. I just feel like next year, at the end of the year, the teams are going to be pretty much in the exact same spot they were this past year.
Sure.
Like, I think
Miami's definitely going to be better. They're going to be better.
They'll be better.
Sure.
They'll be like a 5 or a 4 seed probably. I don't think they make top 3.
I think they could win a playoff series or two, but they're not.
They could.
I don't think
they're not
going to
win the chip.
They're not better than Boston.
No,
they're not better than the Knicks. They're probably not better than the Cavs.
I think they could be
who
as
am I
good as
missing?
the Cavs.
Speaking of the Knicks, let's all clap it up.
Congrats.
Sixers.
For the NBA Finals champion.
I feel like
not much to say.
Anybody watching this probably knows anything that you know about that series. One of the best runs in NBA postseason history, Jalen Brunson. I think
fun to watch.
Everyone has doubted him.
Awesome.
Finals
Mavericks
MVP.
legend.
Yeah. I think that's how me, Jacob, and Pearson. At least me and our friend Pearson was thinking. That's how me and our friend Pearson was thinking. Was we don't really care for either team. We don't hate either team. But Jalen Brunson's on one of them. Used to be a Mav. We traded him, and I hope he does good.
He was a free agent, but yeah.
See,
that's what I meant.
When my team trades a player, I hope they stink. Like I no longer want them to be good.
Well, I hope the Lakers suck. Like, are so bad. I hope they never make the playoffs again.
Last thing I'll say about this: if y'all thought Jalen Brunson was good in these playoffs, you should have saw Mavs versus Utah Jazz first round. Luka's injured. This is when Brunson is like a 6th man at this point. And we're sitting in the floor of one of our friends' dorm rooms, like 15 of us in a room. You thought he was moving different this year. You should have seen that series. That's when Jalen Brunson got paid. Was that Jazz series? That's still the greatest basketball I've ever seen a human play. Was him in that series. When we go up 2-1 without Luka, then Luka comes back. And, obviously we end up going all the way to the conference finals. But, yeah, I still love Brunson. I always will.
It's great stuff.
Congrats to him.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I would like to see Wemby win as well. I mean, I think Wemby's great for the sport.
A
lot of people
don't like Wemby at all.
I'm not in on that either. I think he's awesome, but I don't know.
I think he's a great player. I just think he's really annoying. And, I don't know. He just does a lot of things that a lot of players don't do that's, really annoying. Like, I should be the MVP this year.
I like how passionate he is, but
it's just a breath of fresh air. Like, you have this 7'4" monster shooting it, pulling up from half court, and going tween over your head.
I honestly think it's jealousy. To be honest, I think that I'm just like this dude's in his
what
third
I would do
year
to have him. Yeah.
I think it's just not even from a player standpoint. I don't look at a player and get jealous. I'm talking about from a Spurs fan base standpoint. Because I'm like, this dude's in his 3rd year, and your whole team is under 25. You're not ready to win a championship yet. This isn't how it's supposed to work. So I was kind of glad they lost. I was like, but especially because they were so good for all those years, and you suck for a few, and now all of a sudden about to have a dynasty again. Like, give me a break.
That's the thing. You can ask Jacob. When we were younger, I kind of liked the Spurs just because I like Kawhi Leonard.
I hate
so
him. I never
I've
was
never-
on that. On the
I've never been mad at the Spurs being good, but I mean, obviously, if they start going on a run, going to the finals like 3 or 4 years in the next 5, then I'm going to be pretty ticked off. Is in the division, in the West,
I was a Bron
in the same
hate.
state.
in the same state. Yeah,
Like, I was pulling for Bron in the Heat in those finals matchups. Like, I was one of those guys, like, I was as a little kid back in like 2013, 14 when they played in those finals. I didn't realize like how ethical and beautiful basketball the Spurs were playing. I just thought they were boring. You know, they'd whip it around the horn 15 times and Tim Duncan would bank one in. I'd be like, I remember like watching the games with my dad, but this sucks. And then Bron would throw one down and I like jump off my couch and I'm like, yeah, you know, and then the Spurs, they just like run the shot clock down to 3 seconds and, you know, whips it over to Boris Diaw. He hits a jumper from the elbow. Then LeBron goes back down and tomahawks one. And then, you know, all of a sudden the Spurs are up by 20 at halftime. He used to just drive me crazy. But looking back on it, those teams were incredible. I didn't give them enough.
defense spectacular. Playmaker was incredible.
Just a clinic.
3 Hall of Famers.
Oh, unbelievable.
I mean, you got the Euro step. Come on. Hey.
The fact that they had a guy with the toilet bowl haircut, you know, just out there.
A guy that should be like
from off
a 40-year-old in an office. Like, you just put him out of a car sales room and he's just dropping buckets on people.
This way, anytime I walk into my dad's office at work, I look around and I think I saw Manu Ginobili like 3 times. And I have to do a double take. Oh, shoot. Oh, that's not him.
Manu?
Dang it. But yeah, good. Anyways, moving on. I don't remember what else we were supposed to talk about.
All right, let's move on to some NFL. What do you guys think? Well, first, let me set the stage. I went on a cruise for vacation over the June 1st kind of period. June 1st was in the middle of my cruise. And so I get back at the end of vacation and I get off the boat and I see in my Dynasty League chats the commissioner message, and he was like, "Fun trades today, boys." He was like, only thing that would make them better is if we like got some trades in here. And I was like, what do you mean? Because I thought he was talking about trades in the league. And so then I'm like, oh crap. Like, June 1st is past. AJ Brown is a Patriot. And so I'm looking it up like, oh, AJ Brown is a Patriot, just like we expected. Everybody saw that one coming. We've been talking about it for months. Nobody's surprised. People basically had it like penciled in all of their fantasy projections and everything like that. And then I keep scrolling and I see one of the craziest trades I've ever seen in my life as an NFL fan, where the greatest defensive player in the league just went to the best team in the league. And Myles Garrett is a Ram.
Top 3, top 5.
I mean, it is unbelievable. I was mind blown when I saw that. I don't think anybody saw that coming. But yeah, how are we feeling about it, boys?
If the Rams aren't one of your Super Bowl like winning teams, like contenders in your mind, you just are a lunatic and don't know anything about ball. I mean, I think they are going to be spectacular to watch.
It will be one of the greatest teams I have ever seen as an NFL fan. If they don't win the Super Bowl, it will be one of the greatest teams I've ever seen not win the Super Bowl. Like, they're that good.
I don't know. I mean, they're good, but they're not. Like, I don't think that they're like greatest team we've ever seen good.
Bro,
you know
their
what I mean?
defense
You have 4
was
Hall of Famers
already really good.
Their defense was like trash can at the end of the season last year.
Yeah, their defense
really
wasn't
bad.
like great, but
Sure, but it was top half, and their secondary was the only problem. Like, their front was great.
and they went out.
It was. See, that's what scares me is like, but they did upgrade in the secondary as well. They're going to be good,
signed
especially
McDuffie. What are you talking about?
And Jalen Watson.
And Jalen Watson. Jalen Watson,
once
McDuffie.
And now Myles
Ty
Garrett.
Simpson
I mean,
takes over mid-season. That's when they're really gonna start going up from there.
Yeah.
Pick of the draft.
Ty Simpson.
Jordan Whittington.
Y'all know how I feel about Ty Simpson. I was on that for the draft.
Like, imagine, bro, imagine they would have drafted, like, a good defensive player or, like, offensive
Yeah,
lineman.
I mean,
I
it's
mean
still my second favorite trade of the offseason behind the Max Crosby trade. But no, it's insane. It's definitely it reminds me of when they made the big trade to go out and get Von Miller, except like times 5. Like that's how
Right.
big of a deal it was. It really is.
Right.
You know, the dude just broke the sack record thing, got traded. It's a pretty big deal. So he's gonna be a monster. They're gonna be really stinking good. So I just hope it's not one of those weird seasons. Like I don't know, man. Like Stafford just won MVP, so you got to think he's still at the peak of his career. But he
But
gets to that age where it just seems like it could
he
happen at any time. Like I know
and
that sounds weird.
don't forget, 12 months ago, 11 months ago, everybody was worried about Stafford's back. Like,
It was his
people
elbow, right? Once they were like, "Is
no,
he even
his
gonna play
back.
It
this
was his
year?"
back. It was his back.
His
Then
back.
they're
He was
like-
having to get, like, shots, like epidural shots in his back because
That
it was
was
so bad.
wild.
People,
they
like,
didn't even
at
suit up to,
fantasy
like,
draft times
preseason week 2 or something.
Don't draft Stafford.
people
Rams are gonna
at
decline
fantasy
this
draft
year,
times
wins
were like,
MVP.
don't draft Puka. Like, don't draft Puka.
Yeah,
Like,
I remember
Stafford
that.
might not play all year.
I
And
remember
it was
this.
like crazy. And then he won MVP. And they almost,
Best
like,
year of his career.
they were a
This close to
touchdown
the
away
Super
from
Bowl.
winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Their
They would have
defense
beat
is
New
better.
England.
They-
They
Oh,
would have
for
beat
sure.
New England.
They,
Yeah.
I think they win it if their defense is a little bit better. Which
Yeah,
they
I
are
mean
now, so.
their defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. I mean Stafford was
Right.
unbelievable in that Seattle game, and that defense is one of the better ones that we've seen in the last 25, 30 years in the NFL. That defense was that good last year for Seattle. Not saying I say they carried that team to a championship. I don't mean that Darnold and Kenneth Walker and that offense weren't good because they were, but that defense that carried that team to a championship. It was that good, and
Oh, yeah.
Stafford and that offense were just Seattle could not stop them in that NFC championship. It's just that LA's defense was worse, but you also got to
Right.
give credit to Seattle too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's awesome. It's going to be really exciting. I think it's good for the sport. It's a good trade
Oh,
for
yeah.
the sport. I think
I'm
it's really
so
exciting.
excited.
Let's be honest. And I mean, this podcast is pretty fresh. We've only had a few episodes. This might be the biggest trade we see in the podcast's history. Like,
Ever.
as long as we ever go with this might be the biggest trade
Giannis and Miles
we've ever seen.
Garrett getting traded in like a 2-week span is
Pretty
insane.
awesome.
Definitely gives us some talk
And Melo.
and Melo.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nas Reed.
Julius Randle, them Nets.
Hall
man.
of Famer.
Nick Claxton. No, but I mean, yes, as great as this is for the Rams, like obviously the talking point is the Rams and Miles Garrett. We also got to look at the Browns. I mean, you got Jared Verse, you got a young
Get
guy.
Jared Verse back.
Great move.
I mean, you got some picks back.
That's not a
Obviously, you got some
bad-
picks back. I don't think they really missed out. I mean, you weren't going to. We've said this from the very beginning. The Browns were never going to win
They were going to be horrible.
more than
next year.
7
Yeah.
games.
Right.
Never going to win more than 7 games.
They don't
So
have a
why not?
quarterback.
Why
First,
not
second.
prepare for the future?
Yeah, getting a
And I know
first,
at
second,
some, I
and
know at some
third.
point you got to like go for now, like start going all in. But in the situation they're in, you have to go.
They
you have to look
did as
towards the
good.
future.
I feel like he did. Their GM did as good as he probably could have with.
Yeah.
I'll
I think it
stand
was
on
the right
this.
move, honestly.
G-
It's crazy as that sounds because it's
Yeah.
just the spot they're in of how terrible they are.
For sure.
genuinely
I think it's
how
like-
just awful.
I think it's
the
such a
Browns
fair
are.
trade. Which, when you're saying you're giving up the depoy, it's crazy to think that you get a fair trade for that. You know.
Well,
But
I wouldn't
I
say
think
it's
it's-
fair because if a dude breaks the sack record, there's no trade that's going to make that fair. But also, he's past age 30, and again, the Browns are just hideous, so they weren't going to win anything in probably the next 2 to 3 years, anyways. And that's probably the rest of his prime that he's got. So it's like might as well get something than just sit on it and lose anyways. You know what I mean? So I get it. I get it.
The Browns, I would not be surprised if there is a time in the next 2-3 years where we're talking about the Browns as a good team because their GM
Yeah.
is making
Things move quickly in the NFL.
their
Things can
GM
move
is
really
making
quickly.
good decision after good decision after good decision after good decision, like in every aspect. Like last year, trading the number 2 pick to Jacksonville, gaining an extra pick this year, still getting one of the best rookies this year, having the defensive rookie of the year at the top of the second. Like they just played really good. Like
Here's
the GM has just made some like really good decisions and like is just playing the GM game really good. So
See,
I
here's
think
what-
like they might be a good team pretty soon.
the only thing I would argue with you on that is this is what just makes you about the Browns. Just makes you so upset and just like feels like they can't do anything right.
Right.
Because they have that historic draft. Like you can't call it historic yet. They had a really good rookie class last year. It was a really good draft. I think everyone agrees.
Yeah.
Then you have Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. Like they had the laughingstock pick of the draft. And that's like the Browns franchise summed up in a nutshell. Every good that they do is somehow still overshadowed by the one bad thing they did in last year's draft because it was that bad.
Yeah.
And that's just the Browns to me. It's like I feel terrible for them.
Right.
But it just feels like it is what it is.
It's exciting news. I mean, like I said, I think this is closest. I mean, not obviously you can make a fair trade, but nobody's going to give up you're not going to give up Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase to be able to get Myles Garrett and try to make it fair or something like that. Nothing like that's ever going to happen, I don't think. So I think this is the closest to a fair trade we might see for this caliber of player. And so I'm happy for the Browns. I'm excited to see what they do moving forward, but also excited to see the Rams field one of the best teams I might ever see. And hopefully Aaron Donald comes back, might make it even better.
That's not going to happen. I've seen that crap.
I'd love it.
Dumb.
That would be so sick.
Yeah.
If my Cowboys don't win, I think I'm pulling for the Rams next year. Just to see Stafford get another one.
I would love for the Rams win.
Let Garrett get one. I mean, good for Garrett, have a chance to get one with having to put up with the Browns for 10 years.
Yeah, like people have been begging for him to go to a different team for years.
He requested a trade last year, then signs the biggest contract by a defensive player in NFL history like 3 hours later. Like, what are you doing?
Money talks. It's wild.
That's right.
So funny.
Shoot.
How y'all feel about the AJ Brown trade?
I thought it was fine. I mean, he had to get out of Philly. It makes it as a Cowboys fan too. I'm glad he's gone. I mean,
I think just to go ahead and put this in there, man, I think personally, I think he could be a top 5 fantasy wide receiver this year. Like
he's going to be great.
He's still that good, and Drake May is throwing the ball really well. I think he's like one of those players who is going to be undervalued, and he is a little bit. I don't know what his ADP is right now, but he definitely could get up there. Like I don't think he's going to get I don't think he's going to be one of the first 10 wide receivers off the board.
I think it's going to be similar to his first year in Philly, to where he gets traded. He's really motivated. It's a new city, and he's going to go in there and kind of light the world on fire. I think he's going to be great.
Yeah. And I personally, I've always loved AJ Brown until he started doing all this like drama crap. But I love him as a player. I love his build. I love how he's just a big guy who like catches the ball over people down the field. You just don't see that much anymore. So he's a fun player to watch.
See, I mean, realistically, I do think he's going to be good. I don't like AJ Brown at all. I think he's a selfish, greedy player. And so
I mean, I'd be upset too if I'd heard slinging me the ball for the last 4 years.
Yeah, I think he saw that. Oh, I didn't make the Super Bowl for a year, so let me go to a team that will.
He wasn't happy when he was in the Super Bowl.
Right, but I think them not going deep into the playoffs and then seeing the trade rumors of him going to the Patriots, I think it just lit a fire up under him. So I think he will be pretty good next year. But
he's going to be good, yeah.
I'm happy for Drake May, I think. I think I'm more happy for Drake May than I am AJ Brown.
Do you think this elevates him? I mean, he was already in MVP conversation throwing to Kayshon Boutte, wide receiver 1. So, like, do you think he's got a really good chance at MVP next year?
Sure. If you finish second the year before, I mean, it'd be crazy to say he doesn't have really. I don't think anybody's going to – that's not some sort of hot take to be like, if you were to say, like, oh, I got Drake May winning the MVP next year. You know what I mean?
But I don't know that I do. I mean, he had I don't think the schedule merchant allegations are incorrect. I think his schedule was unbelievably easy last year. They're going to have a really hard schedule this year. I think he's really going to have to show his stuff.
He's going to be really good.
I think he's a great player. I think he's really fun to watch. To me, he plays that Josh Allen style of ball. He's not quite as physical as Josh Allen is.
He doesn't look to run as much, but it's there's some flashes of it with the
Yeah, he
athleticism.
plays
Kind of a
a
junior
similar
version.
fun, exciting type of ball that like makes him a really fun player to watch, which is really annoying because
Big
he's
arm,
on the
can create plays
Patriots.
with his feet. Yeah, it's definitely that's kind of like the new
See-
prototype of the elite quarterback. Like Mahomes is the same way.
That's everybody
It's kind of
wants.
what everybody wants these days.
Well,
So
Mahomes is kind of
See-
like a little baby boy though, compared to Josh Allen. Let's just make that clear.
He's also a Super Bowl winner and
Okay.
Super Bowl MVP. And
Here
something Josh Allen
comes
can
the
do.
Mahomes fan.
all right,
No,
what should we? Sorry.
no,
man,
here's
what
my-
you got.
On the Drake May situation, you were asking about if Drake May will be an MVP or what our opinions are. I don't think for some reason, I just got a gut feeling that I don't think he's going to play as good. I think he's still going to be great.
Thank
He's
you.
definitely going to be top 10, like top 7 probably.
I think
I
there'll
just
be
feel like he's
regression.
I feel like he's going to take a step back, kind of like CJ Stroud did, kind of how Jaden Daniels did. I know Daniels got hurt a little bit, but even when he was healthy, he didn't play great, even with better weapons. So
and
don't know.
not even for young players, like Baker Mayfield did. Like Baker Mayfield got to the Bucks and was throwing like a ridiculous touchdown percentage, and then he had a little bit of regression. You just don't usually see, like, if you're projecting Drake May to possibly be in MVP conversations in the same way he was last year, you're projecting that Drake May is going to take the next step to be in a tier of quarterback that only Lamar, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes are, because there are no other guys who put seasons up like that back to back in the entire NFL. And so, like, there's the rest of the guys have regression for the most part. I mean, you could throw Stafford. There might be some other guys. So if you're going to say that, like, he's in the MVP conversation in the same way, like, that means he's probably repeating as a top 3 fantasy quarterback, which there's very few guys who are back-to-back years top 3 fantasy quarterbacks. Like, that is like your upper echelon. You are the top tier at that point.
I think he's going to be very similar to like Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, in the fact of you're sitting around that 5 to 7 to 8 top 5, top 8 type of quarterback. And you have seasons where you're going to be MVP like candidates, but then you're also going to have seasons where you're like a top 10 player, like really good quarterback.
Disagree.
Don't get me wrong.
I get what you guys are saying. And it's fair to have like the gut feeling assumption. Like there's nothing wrong with that. But I just think just using logic, like if you're looking at it logically, you look at a guy, his first full year as a starter, finished second in MVP in a close race, like almost won the MVP. Then he goes out and adds his first true wide receiver one he's ever had. I just think just logically it makes sense for him to be just as good, if not better, because I think the team's going to be better. But like I get like the gut feeling thing, but I think just logically, I think just giving him the benefit of the doubt, I think he's going to be really good. I also think he just passes the eye test for me. I feel like I watch him play. Sure. I think he's an elite quarterback. Like I think he's a top 5 guy like in the future. I think the future has that for him.
Sure. I think I'm more on your side than on Slade's side, Jacob. I definitely.
Sometimes you play your gut. That's like we're not on TV talking about this. You're allowed to say that, Slade. You know what I mean?
I think Drake May is closer. I think Drake May is closer to Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Lamar than he is to Jared Goff and Dak Prescott. Like I think that he is.
150 million people watch the Super Bowl, and we watched Drake May have maybe the worst quarterback performance we've seen in the Super Bowl in maybe the last 10 years or so. So I think that also may have a bad taste in people's mouth, but I would say flush that. I think he's going to be a really good player.
I'm not even taking that into consideration.
He played one of the best defenses, in the modern era.
I understand, like, you're a second-year player. Like, obviously, he's not going to be a Patrick Mahomes, somebody like that in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Given it's your second year. I'm not taking that into account really at all. I think he had a fluke game. Like you said, he came out against one of the better defenses we've seen. So you can't fault him for it. I just feel, I don't know why. I just have that initial reaction. And it's not that I don't want him to be good. I think he can be good. I think he should be good. Like you said, logically, with A.J. Brown coming in, with a true wide receiver one, I think it should make him better.
That doesn't always work like that, though. I think it's NFL. More of, I get what you're saying.
Geno goes to the Seahawks. It's incredible his first year, and then he just falls off a cliff,
That's what I was saying to
I could definitely see I could see Sam Darnold going to the Seahawks, being great this year,
Like,
next year not being as good.
logically, the Rams should be better next year. But the NFL, all pro sports are kind of like this. It does not always work out like that. Like the Rams, there's 90% chance they're fantastic next year. There's always that weird 10% chance that, you for whatever reason, you come out and you have a few clunkers to start the season. You shockingly start 1-3, and then you're chasing the rest of the season. And then you surprisingly miss the playoffs at 9-8. Like you see it in pro sports, especially the NFL, all the time. Again, that's probably not going to happen, but the NFL is just weird, man. Is there anything? But we're at about an hour here. Is there anything else? I mean, we've covered a lot of things. We could touch. You want to touch on the Sorsby situation? Real quick
I don't even know that there is a point. I think that's the funniest part about us not recording in a little while is we missed the entire saga of Brendan Sorsby, like beginning to end.
I posted a video on TikTok. I'm a bigger college sports fan. I know a lot more about college football than I do the NFL. And like me and Slade, like we grew up, like Slade, his family's season ticket holders to Clemson football games. Like we love college football.
I was like 2 or 3 or something.
Like it means something. It means something to people. A lot of people around here and to us. Like we love college football. And I'm glad he's not. This sounds bad. I'm glad he's not playing. Like I think common sense won out. But I made a TikTok video about it. But just to touch on it, like I know everyone's probably familiar with the situation. But if you're not, basically with the college football stuff now, all the transfer stuff, Texas Tech paid this guy to transfer from Cincinnati, gave him like probably $5-6 million. He comes in, they find out he has a gambling problem. They're going to send him to get some help. He placed like, thousands of bets literally over the past few years. So they send him to get help. That's still not great, but it's like, glad they're getting the guy the help he needs. Then they found out he made bets on his own team, which is, if you're not familiar with, that is the number one no-no in sports. Like I talked about this in the TikTok. You can go all the way back to the Shoeless Joe Jackson days when he did it. People still know who Shoeless Joe Jackson is, like because of that infamous moment. Pete Rose didn't get into the Hall of Fame until after he died because of that. Like it's a big deal. It's the biggest no-no maybe in sports. Is gambling on your own team while you're part of that team. That's what he did when he was at Indiana. It's pretty much a death sentence for your career. Like it was kind of like, okay, he's definitely not playing this year. He's going to the NFL. He's going to have to enter the supplemental draft. But he gets a judge to rule in his favor because the NCAA has zero structure right now. You can basically do whatever you want. The NCAA can tell you no. Then if you take it to court and you find a favorable judge and they rule in your favor, you can basically do whatever you want until they get like the Supreme Court and the Senate and some higher ups involved to put concrete rules in play. And that's what he did. But he got so much backlash for it. Basically, teams saying they were going to refuse to play Texas Tech. Like teams literally releasing statements saying we will not schedule Texas Tech in anything, to the point where Texas Tech basically told him like, yeah, we don't think it's a good idea for you to play. And he stepped back. But I'll let JJ kind of talk about the supplemental draft and explain more about that.
Yeah, if you play Dynasty Fantasy Football, you were both extremely excited and extremely confused on what you were supposed to do with this random guy after your rookie draft was already done. How do we do a supplemental draft in Dynasty? A supplemental draft hasn't happened since like 2012, 2011, something like that.
It was like 18 or 16. It was like almost 10 years ago now.
Oh, was it 18, 16?
It was still a decent while ago, though. It's been like
it was a long time ago.
It never happens. Never happens.
It never happens. Basically, what a supplemental draft, if you don't know what that is, it's basically where NFL teams blind bid on a player of what pick they're willing to give up the next year to draft that player. And so they all blind bid. And so, like, if one team says they'll give up a first for him, and every other team says they'll give up a second for him, then the team who said they'll give up a first gets him. And so it's a very unique, it really never happens anymore. But in these kind of situations, that's the only way they can do things. But the NFL declined for him to be able to be a part of it.
They don't have to have the supplemental draft.
Yeah,
the NFL has a say in whether the supplemental draft happens or not, and they ruled to not have it this year.
And their reasoning was that, correct me if I'm wrong, their reasoning was that they didn't have enough time to investigate the situation. So they just decided to delay it.
With everything going on, they almost were kind of like, we just a month ago kind of heard about this dude having all these betting problems, and now you're talking about him betting on his own team. Basically saying, we're going to give you a year to kind of work on yourself before we let you come and come bet on it. Basically, you know what I mean? Like the NFL cares about their image. They care about these things. Basically saying, go work on yourself for a year, kid. You got a lot going on. Come to the draft in April. It's pretty much what happened.
To be honest, we'll see if we ever hear his name again. Because he was not that level.
I'm not a huge Sorsby guy. I'm really not. Like, I think he's a good player. I don't think he's some insane NFL prospect. I watched him play at Cincinnati. Watched him a few times. I didn't think he's a good player. He's a really good athlete. But I don't think I definitely wouldn't give up a first round pick for him. I honestly would have given up like a fourth is what I would.
And I don't think any team was planning on doing that. I don't think people view him as a first round prospect. He's going to have to stay in shape and stay on scouts' radar without playing on a college football team.
Which he will, but still, it's just a really, really odd situation. I'm glad he's not playing. Again, nothing and I talked about this in my video. I've never met Brendan Sorsby. I'm sure he's a great guy. If all of our lowest moments were documented for the world to see, like, people probably wouldn't
be in trouble.
You know what I mean?
A lot of people would be in trouble.
It sucks that he made a mistake, and he was a freshman. He was 18. So I get all that. But at the same time, you just can't do it. It's just one of those things, and like you have to have consequences for it, even though it doesn't inherently make him a bad dude because he made a mistake. But he cannot play college football anymore if you bet on your own team as part of that team. Think about like the guys in the NBA, like all those guys. I mean, think about I'm a Guardians fan. Like Emmanuel Clase is one of my favorite players on the planet. And I get what he did was way more extreme than Sorsby. The dude is like in trial right now. Like got arrested for what he did.
It's like
gambling
10
on
years,
his own team.
right? Like
in pro leagues. Oh yeah, like pro leagues where there's set rules about this stuff. Like you get in serious trouble. But yet in college football, it's unbelievable where we're at in college football, where all they had to do was just get some Texas Tech fan that's a judge, just grants them the preliminary injunction, and the NCAA can do nothing. They just have to sit back and eat it after they publicly had stated there's no way Brendan Sorsby should play, and it doesn't matter. Same thing happened with Trinidad Chambers when the NCAA was like, no, we're not giving you eligibility. Like, this is your sixth year of college. You played 5 years of D2 ball, and then he just goes and gets a judge from Mississippi to rule in his favor, and there's nothing the NCAA can do about it.
Crazy.
It's just the sport I love is in a rough spot. I hope it needs some fixing. It really does.
If you're wondering,
college basketball.
If you're wondering why I was silent to this whole exchange, is because this is all news to me as well. I completely missed every single bit of this. I was at Disney World last week. I'm gonna blame it on that, and we can move on.
One of the best parts.
Slade was hanging up and hanging out last week.
We'll finish with this. One of the best parts about the Sorsby situation. This is what one of my buddies said about it. We were texting about it after the NFL declared that they weren't going to hold a supplemental draft, because everybody was shocked when that news came out. Like, everybody was expecting a supplemental draft to happen.
Kind of wild.
And
just like,
my buddy texted, and he was like, "Glad to see the NFL's got more guts than college football does. Lay down the law."
Pro leagues don't play, man, but they actually have like structure, and that's just goes to prove like how big of a deal. Like the fact that Texas Tech has turned themselves into villains. Like, I personally will not be pulling for Texas Tech next year. I'm not afraid to say it publicly. Like, their AD, like, coming out, like, the fact that it's insane. You can use the argument. Like, I was listening to Josh Pate the other day. He's my favorite, content creator on the internet. I love his podcast, and he's a college football guy. I'm listening to him, and he's talking about it. And he knows the Texas Tech AD personally because he goes around, goes to all these schools. And he was like, if Brendan Sorsby played somewhere else, the school would have done the exact same thing. And I agree with that. But the fact of the matter is he didn't play anywhere else. He played at Texas Tech. So I'm going to not like him. It's just a fact. Like, what they did, it's insane. And I can't even say that, there's probably 100 other schools that would have done the same. But the fact of the matter is they didn't, because they didn't have the chance. So
and now they've paid $5 or $6 million for a quarterback who's not going to play.
I was going to say, I mean, maybe he can come over, join the podcast one Saturday while we're watching ball.
Hey, I think Sorsby, if you want to come on and talk about it.
I'm a big Red Raider fan.
We're happy to have you.
I'm a Mahomie, so
okay,
we can get him in.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. I'm sure you've got plenty of time on your hands, but just let us know. You know where to find us.
Texas Tech isn't even the little brother of college football teams in Texas. Like, it's not even the joke where you can be like little brother. Like to me, it would be like Texas, and you got A&M. TCU's been better in recent years. Then you got Texas Tech. I mean, what does
It's like
that make you like?
North
It's the
Texas.
distant cousin that you like
No, it's
suck it
like
up and
when
hang out with like once a year on Christmas, and you get done with those 2 hours, and you're like, thank gosh, like that was so awkward.
no,
This
it's like
guy
it's like the sibling that's like 20 years younger than the rest. Like, like all of y'all grew up together and one of them was the youngest, and then you guys are all 25 and your mom has another baby. Like that's Texas Tech. That's who
They
Texas
just don't
Tech
fit
is.
in.
Yeah,
Don't
you
Texas
just like,
Tech's a
what are you
little.
doing here?
They're a little annoying. Let's be honest. Like they haven't been good in forever, and then they get all this all money and then go to the playoffs last year. And and I know the other Texas teams, and not even I know Oregon uses. There's tons. Everybody's spending money. Like
There
I
goes
get
all
it,
of our Texas
but I
Tech
just think
viewers.
with Texas Tech, I think it's a little bit annoying. I think people understandably get a little frustrated because at least with Oregon, I can look at them and be like, okay, they were really good pre-NIL. Like Ohio State spent $20 million when they won the Natty. They were really good winning Natties pre-NIL. All these schools, Bama, Georgia, Texas was, not even recently before NIL, but they have a rich history. Texas Tech, it's just like, it's like the fourth best team in the last 20 years in Texas. Now all of a sudden,
Right.
they decided they wanted to spend $50 million a year and be better than everybody. So here we are. And that's just
Right.
kind of where we're at in college football.
Yep.
But I don't blame them for spending. You got to spend it, right? So
Yeah, that's my philosophy. If you got it, spend it.
That's right.
hey.
That's why I'm broke.
That's why I ain't got no cash. If I got it, I spend it.
Bought myself a Frosty on the way home yesterday. Didn't have to. Whipped in there. Had $5
Because
sitting in
why?
my console.
$4. $4.
Burning a
More
hole.
four.
Burning a hole in my
You
center console.
got it, spend it,
Got
man.
it. Got it. Spend it.
If you got it, spend it. And with that,
That's right.
that will conclude this episode of the Third and Wrong podcast. Remember, hey, if you've got some money, go spend it, man. Go have a good time.
Don't save your money.
That's
Be
the
like Texas Tech.
wisdom nugget of the day. If you've got it, spend it. We'll see you guys in the next one. We enjoyed it.
Shout out
Drop
Joey
a comment.
McGuire and all the Texas Tech people out there.
We love
Go
you.
Red Raiders.
Go Red Raiders. See you guys.